Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? I am super tired. My sleep schedule's all jacked up. I've been up for a few hours working in the kitchen. And I figured I would push through and go live just to keep my show going so I don't lose my sponsorships and all my funding. So we'll see how it's going. Co-Train, good morning. Steven, good morning. So I'll try to push through this. Not a whole lot going on other than, of course, Tim Pool having a meltdown. I mean, I guess that's the top story right now. Erica Kirk being the weird, whatever she is, the weirdo that she is, and Tim Pool basically being a big hypocrite, crying that Candace Owens is a scumbag and she's ruining the midterms and she's the reason he got shot up. Meanwhile, he's literally gaslighting her, trying to get somebody to go shoot her up. So, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, that guy is he's something else. I don't even want to talk about him, but I am going to show it. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. But I got a couple other videos to play first. I think I did like some comedy videos. Hold on. Just to get warmed up. I can't even think straight right now.
Welcome to Contemporary American History. I'm Professor Turgeson. A lot of people think history is just facts. It's just information about the past, but not me. I mean, I hold history very sacred. Sacred. The way the farmer looks at the earth and he holds it sacred. The way a Christian takes the Bible and he holds it sacred. The way a lot of people hold their marriage sacred. So I feel about it. So why don't we dive right in by interpreting one of the easiest events in the last 20 years of American history. Now, can someone tell me why in 1975 we pulled our troops out of Vietnam?
The failure of Vietnamization to win popular support caused an ongoing erosion of confidence in the various American but illegal Saigon regimes.
Is she right?
I absolutely love this movie. Good morning, Bambi. Good to see you. Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield and Sam Kinison. I had to pause it so they don't kick me off the air, but this is freaking hilarious.
Right? Because I know that's the popular version of what went on there. And a lot of people like to believe that. I wish I could, but I was there. I wasn't here in the classroom hoping I was right, thinking about it. I was up to my knees in rice paddies with Johnson Edwards going up against Charlie, slugging it out with him, while pussies like you were back here partying, putting headbands on, doing drugs, listening to the goddamn Beatle albums.
Hey, Professor, take it easy, will you? I mean, these kids, they were in grade school at the time. And me, I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper. But since you want to help, maybe you can help me, okay? You remember that thing we had about 30 years ago called that Korean conflict? Yeah, where we failed to achieve victory. How come we didn't cross the 38th parallel and push those rice eaters back to the Great Wall of China and take the Berkeley Brick and nuke them back into the fucking Stone Age River? How come? Tell me why? Say it! Say it!
All right, I'll say it. Because Truman was too much of a pussy wimp to let MacArthur go in there and blow out those commie bastards.
Good answer. Good answer. I like the way you think. I'm going to be watching you.
A good teacher. He really seems to care. About what, I have no idea.
Those were good movies back then. Bambi, good morning. Hope you're doing good.
End of the day, most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. Now they're going to see stand-up comics because we are not policed by anyone. The audience polices us. We know when we're off track. We know instantly, and we adjust to it instantly. But when you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke. Well, that's the end of your comedy.
Have you had that experience?
No.
Because isn't that what Curb is all about?
Yeah. Larry was grandfathered in. He's old enough that I don't have to observe those rules because I started before you made those rules.
So true. Politically correct and just not being able to be an independent artist. This just ruined everything. Tommy, good morning. Good to see you. Let's see here. I'm great. Got my pipes unclogged so I can do laundry and dishes. Cleaning such a weight off my shoulders. Nice. Never thought I'd be happy. Never thought I'd be happy to clean. Yep. Magooch, good morning. Good to see you. I hear you, Bambi. I'm constantly cleaning. It's a never-ending battle. Dirty in the kitchen and cleaning it. That was a nice little tidbit from Seinfeld. I don't know if I want to get to that one yet. What else I got? Well, we'll listen to this one first. So apparently, well, this just speaks for itself.
Go ahead, please. Tell us about rice.
Rice. Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me here. And my friend, the secretary, you have an incredible lady right here. She really is. Along with being a mother of 3 and a wife, I run my family's agribusiness, Kennedy Rice Mill, in a little town called Marouge, Louisiana, about 1,000 people in the northern part of the state. We employ around 150 people, taking rice from the field to a finished product, supplying some of the largest food companies that many of you would know here domestically, but also abroad. And my sisters and I, because there is 4 of us, right? I'm the youngest of 4 daughters, started our own rice brand a few years ago to just tell the story of American agriculture that hadn't really been told before. But I wish I was here under better terms. I'll tell you, I think the rice industry thanks you sincerely for what you have done for the California rice market. And
Can we get to the point?
India, Thailand, even rice into this country today. We've never seen imports this great.
Which countries?
India, Thailand, even China into Puerto Rico. Now, the tariffs are
General rice?
No, sir. We're still working on their trade deal. So
Yeah, but they should be dumping. I mean, I heard that from others. You can't do that.
there's a WTO case against India
Give me
right now.
give me the countries if you could. Go ahead. India. Who else?
So
Mark it
India,
down. Which is good.
yes, sir.
India, Thailand, China into Puerto Rico, not into the continental U.S., but into Puerto Rico.
So I can't stand to listen to these long, drawn out videos. Basically, what she's saying is India and Thailand are dumping rice into the United States so that their family-owned business can't sell rice to the United States. And they used to sell rice to Puerto Rico, but China is dumping rice into Puerto Rico. So now Puerto Rico doesn't buy rice from the United States. So Trump is going to dump $12 billion aid to help out the rice farmers and other farmers around America. But where's the other video at? So now here's this farmer's take on what's really going on.
Hi, Chris Gibbs, Ohio. It's Monday morning, December 8th. In a few hours, the Trump administration is set to announce yet another round of hush money payments to keep farmers and ranchers sedated and to keep them in line as we approach the midterm elections next year. The justification for these payments is that they're needed to serve as a bridge so that farmers and ranchers can get to that nirvana of what the Secretary of Agriculture refers to as the golden age of agriculture that the administration claims is just around the corner. But make no mistake, this promise is a bridge to nowhere. There is no master plan to return market share to American agriculture. Let me put a finer point on it. There are no trade deals. There are no signatures. There is no ink. The truth is, these hush money payments being funded once again by the American taxpayer highlight the failed trade policies and economic policies of the Trump administration as they continue the wage war on trade, wage war on our markets that we as farmers developed, and wage war on our input costs through tariffs on agriculture and our rural communities. And what's worse, these hush money payments won't benefit farmers at all. They'll be immediately assimilated by our monopolies that control our fertilizers, seeds, and crop protection supplies, magically resulting in increased costs that match the payments. These payments will go through farmers like poop through a goose. So now the hard truth for my fellow farmers and ranchers. Where we find ourselves, where we are, because I'm struggling too, is by design. It's by design that you are now dependent upon this administration for your very survival. You are now dependent on your neighbor's tax dollars to survive. That same neighbor who's struggling to buy the very groceries that you provide. That should make you sick to your stomach and maybe even embarrassed. What a demeaning place to be for an industry that prides itself on its grit and independence to make an honest living off the land. But this is what the Trump administration does. It maneuvers industries and people into blind canyons where the only option is to come hat in hand and beg for relief. And once that relief is granted, they'll ensure you remain dependent and that you'll behave. Well, I got a news flash. I'm an American farmer and I don't dance. I don't grovel. And I sure as hell don't sit and behave for anyone. It's time for American Ag to saddle up, stand up for what's right. Start with your commodity and membership organizations and tell your elected leadership that we want our markets back. We want our pride back. And if they don't have the stomach for it, we'll find somebody else.
So it's definitely a complicated issue for sure. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the farming. Poor farmers, my ass, the ones around me are living pretty good, better than me, in fact. Well, I guess it kind of just depends on what type of farming we're talking about, you know. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary, what's that, King Corn? Well, that's like a pretty eye-opening documentary. I'm not a farmer. I don't know too much about it. I don't even know what's going on with the farming industry. But I tend to believe this guy that the $12 billion, whatever they're going to give these farmers, it is exactly what he said. It's so you can be dependent on the government. Why do the farmers even need the aid? They shouldn't need the aid, you know. This country is falling apart, guys. What else do we got here? So Susie Wiles, who is Trump called her the most powerful woman in the world. She's the chief of staff for the White House. She has a plan to win the midterm elections.
He's going to have a fun next year, but we're going to put him on the campaign trail too. Typically, just a little bit of campaign speak, if I may.
Yeah.
Typically, in the midterms, it's not about who's sitting at the White House. It's you localize the election, right, and you keep the federal officials out of it. We're actually going to turn that on its head.
Good.
And put him on the ballot because so many of those low propensity voters are Trump voters.
Yes, they are.
And we saw a week ago Tuesday what happens when he's not on the ballot and not active. So I haven't quite broken it to him yet, but he's going to campaign like it's 2024 again.
Oh,
For all these people that he helps. He doesn't help everybody,
Mhm.
but for those he does, he's a difference maker, and he's certainly a turnout machine. So the midterms will be very important to us. He'll work very hard to keep the majority.
Yeah,
in the
we
Senate.
can't afford to have this
Cannot.
stalled.
No.
And one of the things I keep telling people, and I'm sure we're going to talk politics. I got to talk this. I am so frustrated with all of the people that gave abundantly to organizations like ours and others over the last 4 years to make sure that we won. And our objective was threefold. We didn't just want the presidency. We wanted the House. We wanted the Senate. And we were very strategic on where we went, how we focused to get those bombs out. And now it's like they're all sitting on their laurels and going, "Oh, we're good." I'm like, I don't
President
think you
Trump,
realize how
he's
good
got
we
it.
aren't. And this with swipe of a pen and one election can change everything.
And the majorities in both houses. are so
Yes,
small. Right.
they are.
This is a good Senate year for Republicans. Every 2 years is what it is for House members. So there's candidate recruitment. The president started raising money for the midterms the day after the election.
Good.
And he's sitting on a huge war chest to help these people. And he'll use it, and he'll use himself, and he'll use his money that he's raised, probably his money too. And nobody can outwork him. So there's every reason to be confident, but we have to actually get it done.
Yeah.
And my question is, get what done? What are we trying to get done? You know, what have they done? Have they followed through with any promises yet? What happened to drill, baby, drill? Weren't we supposed to start drilling our own oil? Are we doing that? I don't know. I just heard a bunch of nonsense there. Let's see here. We watched that one. Let's see. Can't remember what this is about.
Here's a Charlie Kirk update for you. So Turning Point USA, the conservative organization that he founded, has completely turned their back on his principles. Back in June, he petitioned Donald Trump directly to not go to war with Iran. Then, of course, he won tickets to the wet t-shirt contest. And now, wouldn't you know it, Turning Point USA is back petitioning the American government to go to war with Iran. That's how that shit works. You get it? When the leader of an organization funded by a hostile government stops doing what that government wants, you get him out of the way and find somebody who will. And why is Erica Kirk looking so happy at these rallies? Well, guess what? Your boy's hitting it. It must be the glasses. Here's a Charlie Kirk update.
I didn't even know what Turning Point USA was until Charlie Kirk got assassinated, to be honest with you. Now, all of a sudden, Turning Point USA is supposed to be the most important thing since peanut butter and jelly. Like whatever Turning Point USA, whatever their opinion is supposed to be like the Bible. You know, like if they're going for Republican, if Erica Kirk is, you know, I don't get it. I want nothing to do with it. Daniel Berry, good morning. All I want to know is who killed Charlie Kirk. And I want to know why the government is lying about it. You know, how they can just straight up lie to our face about the 30-06. There's just too many things. We went over some of the things. There's just too many lies. And somehow Tim Pool decided he wants to insert himself into Candace Owens' quest to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk. He wants to fucking blame her for how the Republicans are going to lose the midterms and that she's a scumbag and all this stuff. You know, this is what he said a few days ago. And then his house gets shot up, allegedly. And then what does he do? He doubles down and then he goes on another rant about Candace Owens. Like he's trying to get her house shot up, I think. I don't understand what his problem is. Fracking, I know what happened to that. Did you see them say Benny is gay? Yeah, I think they're all gay, Co-Train, honestly. You know, Candace is right. Everything is fake and gay. There was just it's a gay mafia. You know, there's a gay mafia in the music industry. There's a gay mafia in the politics. There's a gay mafia in Turning Point USA. Cheryl, good morning. No way that 30-6 there would have been a huge hole and a big miss. Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, and there's people that'll say, oh, well, there's different, you know, calibers to the 30-6 or whatever, like different grains, or I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not a gun guy, but they never want to show you the video that doesn't penetrate. You know what I mean? Like, we all know it's an impossibility. We all know it is. So, Osada, you have a clip of Charlie Kirk's wife. Yep, I'm gonna play it in. I'm gonna play it in a second. In fact, we can play that now if you want. And then we'll do. Here, this is Erica Kirk on Sean Hannity just within the last couple of days. Now she's gonna have some big event coming up on December 15th, where she's gonna be on ABC, and it's gonna be an evening with Erica Kirk, and who knows what she's gonna fucking Freemason stuff she's going to talk about. But you know, people want to know about her kids. Like, you know, since her husband got shot, she's on this media tour and looking up at the sky and holding her handkerchief, but where are her kids? And Sean Hannity kind of asked her about it.
How are you doing? How are the kids?
Doing the best you could expect. God is good, and we have the most amazing Turning Point USA family. They've rallied around myself, my children, and, you know, chosen family is everything. And then, of course, we're blessed with our family itself. But people like you, Ainsley, it's priceless. It's priceless.
You know, you go through this period and they have the shock of something like this happen.
Right.
You know, we all try to relate to people. I don't know if you really could relate to this. And then all of a sudden, there are moments where you just like the reality hits you. He's not coming home.
Right. The permanency, I will always struggle with the permanency. It's the love of my life. I still talk to him every single day, as if when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I'm getting ready to go to bed, when I'm just going about my day, I still feel him so much with me. And again, the permanency will never settle in.
You know, we talked a little about this on radio today, but when you think of heaven, and as a Christian, I believe in.
So it's just over the top, just weirdness. And, you know, I'll just give you, ask the grandparents. Exactly, Cheryl, right? Yeah, where is the real family? She said the chosen family is everything. Oh, and my regular family, you know. You know, my true take on this, guys, is probably just, I don't know what to believe. I really don't. Half of me believes that Charlie Kirk is still alive. I mean, I know for 100% that this is some type of military psyop. You know, this is some type of global military, you know. Sorry, just dropped my Brita water filter off my desk. There was a little bit of water in it, not much. Some global mafia cabal that runs everything, you know, and I don't know whether to believe that he's still alive, because half of me really does believe that he's still alive, because they're obviously lying about this. So it just depends on what level that they're lying about this. Was Charlie Kirk a plant all along? Was he a like a CIA deep state military psyop from the beginning, or did they really take him out because he was pivoting from the narrative and he was, you know, turning away from the people that funded him? You know, it's hard to say. And then the question is why? I mean, we know that they're fucking lying about shit. So the question still remains why. And it's always about money and stuff like that, but it's just very odd why they're choosing to go about it this way. It's just with no blood and tainted crime scene, how do we even know he's dead? We don't, Cheryl. We don't. You're right. You know, it's you know, a lot of people think it. And you know, a lot of people, you know, 100% think that he's dead. And either way is fine with me, because we really don't know. You know, I don't think that we can say definitively. I think that common sense, and 99.99% of us say, yeah, he's dead. But man, I've been doing this a long time, calling out shit and conspiracies, and I just have gifts about able to just, and I'm not, like I said, I don't know what to believe. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know for sure he ain't dead. I'm not going to say that. I just know that part of me believes that something is not fucking right with that whole thing. I mean, obviously, we know things aren't right. But again, on what level is this not right? Is the question. Who's to say? But when it comes to Erica Kirk, it is just so weird. I'm not saying that I think he's still alive, Stephen. I just think, well, I know this. I know a lot of people think that he's still alive. In fact, that it's even Candace Owens herself mentioned how many people email her thinking that he's still alive, and not just anybody. Talking about, she didn't drop names, but talking about like real people that think this, So, it's hard to say, what I mean? And it will probably, that's something that would probably just drive us crazy to even think about, but we just have to go with what we do know. And what we do know is that there's no way in hell that 30-06 bullet did that to Charlie Kirk, not without some, I just watched a video yesterday where, the guy tested all the different types of, he bought the lowest grain velocity 30-06 bullet that they make to give it the highest chance of not penetrating through the back. He put like 3 5-gallon jugs of water back there. Nope, straight through it, just immediately, just boom. It decapitates the head, literally decapitates it, and then it goes all the way through. So it's just, we all know that's impossible. But yeah, the question would be like, okay, so why would they fake his death? Who knows? I mean, that's just not even, I wouldn't even want to wrap my head around that. I'm just saying, I just have to be honest that that's just what part of me believes. You can't, you can't, sometimes you just can't, you just have to be honest with yourself. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. And I'm not saying that part of me is right. We just know there's a lot of fucking weird shit going on, guys. I'm just going to keep going back and forth with that. So I'm going to move on to the next one, which is Tim Pool. And this is his second rant. And I mean, this really, really bothers me about this guy because he's such a fake and a fraud to begin with. He always has been. So is that Nick Fuentes guy, fake and a fraud. To a huge degree, so is Alex Jones. Controlled opposition. And I don't know if they start out that way just from the very beginning, and they get you hook, line, and sinker, and then they pivot at the right point. I'm not exactly sure how it all works. I just know that nobody's to be trusted 100%. You just have to kind of just trust your own. For example, the submersible that imploded coincidentally when the fake chicken was approved. The submersible that imploded coincidentally when the fake chicken was approved. Yeah, that one went right over my head, Cheryl. I should know what you're talking about. I remember the submersible that imploded with the billionaires on it, if that's what you're talking about. When the fake chicken was approved, though. I did not make that connection. That's interesting. But Tim Pool, to call somebody, like I call Erica Kirk an evil witch because I really think that she is. I truly believe. I wouldn't say that about somebody that just lost their husband if I didn't think that they were lying. Like 100%, I think that. I know she's lying. We all know she's lying. Everybody knows she's fucking lying. The vat chicken was at the exact same time. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's how they do it. That's a perfect example of a distraction or a ceremony to, you know, they always have to kill somebody in their ceremonies. But Tim Pool, man, he is really trying to, you know, bring violence on Candace Owens. And he's crying wolf. And nobody believes that his house was even shot up. In fact, somebody called the sheriff's department in the jurisdiction in which he lives, and they don't have a report of it. So for whatever reason, you know, just like Michael Franchese is trying to attack Candace Owens for no reason, you know, you really got to be, you know, you really have to be just so scared of life. You know what I mean? That you bow down to people that, you know, when you know in your heart what you're saying is complete bullshit, it's going to get somebody hurt, you know, but you're so scared because you get paid by whoever and you're nobody without that funding. That's who Tim Pool is. And I believe that's who that Michael Franchese guy is. That's why they have to say this shit, you know, but we'll listen to what he has to say.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property?
You know, Tim, I think part of your problem is just because you run your mouth so much. You know, when the whole world is watching this case and we love Candace Owens so much because she's the only one that really truly has the balls to call out the establishment. She's not a paid shill like you are. You know, when you attacked her the way that you did, that's why if your house really got shot up, that's why it got shot up. And now, I mean, dude, I think he has a death wish. I don't know what his problem is, but it's not going to end well for him, I don't think.
And, you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy. And it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie. She loved Charlie. And she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil.
What is she burning down? What does anybody know what she's burning down? You know, like, I don't. Boo fucking who. Exactly. Erica doesn't look too sad, in my opinion. Only 3 months. No, 100%. And, you know, I mean, we could go back to the whole timeline with Erica Kirk, you know. The fact that Trump recruited her for the pageant thing. She won Miss Arizona. She was in the country music video. She was a reality star on some dating Miss Bachelor. She zip lines past 910, the number 910, the day Charlie Kirk gets shot in Vegas. I mean, the list goes on and on. She's rubbing some fake mannequin hands the day after he's killed with her huge Freemason rings on. I mean, the list goes on and on. The way he's talking right there is the reason, 100%. Yeah, well, he did take his hat off one time, Coltrane, and he looks like a freak, man. He looks like Blake Neff from Turning Point USA without the beanie on. That's exactly who he looks like. If he just had like like blonder hair, he would be Blake Neff 100%. Wow, this guy Tim is not. Yeah, no, he is no good, man. He's just lowbrow.
She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA.
Yeah, it was Candace Owens that turned everybody against and making us think that Turning Point had something to do with it. It's not the facts. It's not the evidence, and it's not all their lies and bullshit that they keep telling to this day. It has nothing to do with that. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that Charlie Kirk put a text message out on September 9th, the day before he was killed, and he told at least 2, maybe 3 people, he said, they're going to kill me tomorrow. They're going to kill me tomorrow. He texts that to somebody in Turning Point USA. He texts that to an unknown source, and then he texts that to one of his security guards. They're going to kill me tomorrow. And they killed him the next day. And by the way, he said, they are going to kill me tomorrow. He didn't say, some tranny or, he's going to kill me tomorrow. You know what I mean? So he didn't even take it off at the White House press conference. Yeah, he's I don't know what it is, it's definitely low self-esteem. Hard to say. Napoleon complex. He's got some things going on there.
They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens?
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail
What a fucking cunt.
of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd
I'm
imply
fucking done.
that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow.
She benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie.
I mean, CG2, good morning. Good to see you. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. Those were his last words there. I mean, what a meltdown. That was an epic meltdown. And, the thing is that PBD, the only reason that anybody was talking about PBD, or the only reason anybody is talking about Tim Pool right now is because they put Candace Owens' name in their mouth. That's the only reason. They are irrelevant, 100% irrelevant. They've lost all their sponsorship and their viewership and their toast. And that's why this meltdown is happening. He's screwed financially. Apparently, he had already been talking about shutting the show down a few months ago. So, once, it is, you can't lie on the internet. You have to, like that Candace said about Judge Judy, if you're going to lie, you got to have a good memory. Especially if you go live every day and you start talking bullshit, you're not going to remember. And then I don't even remember half the shit I say. Like, I don't even remember some of the people that I meet sometimes. I just go on rants. So if I'm lying, it's going to get exposed eventually. And if you're going to purposely set out your show to, steer a narrative in a certain direction, with false intentions and to smear somebody's name like that, man, that's karma coming back at you. So shit like this is going to set back independent media with talk like that. Well, I think that's part of the plan, Co-Train. I really do. I think that at some point, somebody like Tim Pool, it's all about money. He says it's not about money. They're not on here for, and they've never, I mean, if anybody can, and I won't knock you if you say yes, but if anybody can say that Tim Pool has ever said anything profound that, like even one thing that they're like, man, that's, I'm so glad I listened to him for, you know what I mean? Like Kanye tried to go on there and tell him, the truth about what's going on. And you could tell that he was a paid shill back then because of the way he treated Kanye. So yeah, Tim Pool he's dangerous for the internet because it's going to, and I don't know if Trump, let me ask ChatGPT, because I know Trump is set to sign an executive order about centralizing AI. Did Trump sign an executive order, something about centralizing AI? See what ChatGPT says real quick. Yes. As of December 2025, he signed and or is preparing executive orders aimed at centralizing U.S. AI policy under a federal framework. As of early December 2025, Trump has announced his intention to sign an executive order that would preempt or override state-level AI regulations across the country. He argues that a patchwork of 50 different state laws would stifle innovation and make compliance burdensome for AI companies. Alex Jones was all worked up about that yesterday, saying that we don't need centralized AI. It needs to be, decentralized and open AI for everybody to be able to use. A lot of these guys got too big, too quick overnight. Yeah, and I think so. And it's, like Nick Fuentes, I never followed that guy, but come to find out he was at the Capitol building with the bullhorn in 2017. These guys they're just propped up. They're planted in there and put up. And, you wonder why, like somebody like Tim Pool is always on the internet. I don't subscribe to him. Yeah, I always see his videos, his lives pop up on my feed. And it's because they're paid to be there. They get put up by usually Jewish billionaires, and they get paid to steer the narrative of the country in a certain direction, religiously, politically, financially. Yep, the Palantir guy. He's a weirdo, right? The CEO of Palantir. Is that the name of it? Yeah. 100%, I do. He 100% is a Fed plan, I think, Co-Train, my opinion. With the fact that he went on Steven Crowder and said that he believes the official narrative that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I'm like, yeah, I was already done. The fact that he went on Steven Crowder alone, I was pretty much already done. And then he goes on Martin Bradley, which makes me think that Martin Bradley's a fucking plant too. I mean, all of those guys probably are. It's just they're all probably fucking gay too, I bet. He didn't think that the J6 footage of him on the steps with the megaphone would surface. Yeah. Yep, instigating and I mean, I'm sorry. I personally, just my own opinion, you really got to be a dummy to have went to the Capitol building for that. I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. I mean, I guess some people are naive, but to not think that there's going to be nothing but psyops and feds right there on the steps of the Capitol building. That, I mean, come on. What world do you live in? You know what I mean? Like, they're not, like, I always tell people this: go try to block the exit to Walmart. Try to stop people from going into Walmart and see how that works out. You know, if you put a chain in front of the door to Walmart, I guarantee that chain is not going to be there in an hour. They are coming for you, and you are going to jail. Now, you could steal from people in the parking lot and smoke fentanyl in the parking lot and be okay. You know, you could hit somebody over there, rob them, shoot them in the parking lot. You're good. 50% chance of getting away with your first murder. But if you put a chain in front of Walmart's door and stop people from going in, oh man, they will come beat your ass. That's just how it's gonna go down, because the corporations they're the most important thing. That's why the police even exist. You know? So, but to think that, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with that. A guy I know went on J6 and got arrested. Yeah, I mean, I knew my boss, the last job I ever had that I'll ever have I was a bartender in downtown Seattle. One of my bosses, one of the head bartenders, Kyle, he went down to Portland because that was right when, you know, COVID and all that first started, and they had the Chaz and the Chop and all of that. And I don't know if it was Portland or here in Seattle, but he got shot with like a rubber bullet or something. And he posted it on Facebook and was all crying about it and trying to get sympathy. And I didn't say nothing. I eventually ended up unfriending him just because he was such a libtard. I'm like, dude, that's what you fucking get, man. That's what I wanted to tell him. Like, how fucking retard. That's why I never, you know, I'm all about using your voice to, and I know the government's full of shit. They lie to us about everything. And they're pedophiles and rapists. But you can't go out there and fucking storm their buildings and shit. That's not going to end well ever for anybody. You know, I mean, I'm all for, I mean, I don't know what I'm for. I'm just for calling out their bullshit right now. James, good morning. Good to see you. The one thing you don't ever want to do is advocate for violence or fucking any of that shit, because they will fucking get you on that shit. And especially if you say it on the internet. And Tim Pool is walking a thin line by calling her a scumbag and the C word and all. I mean, that's just, you know, he wants what he is alleging happened to his house getting shot up. That's what he's trying to get done to her. I mean, it's obvious. It's a crazy world we live in. But yeah, I mean, Tim Pool, I mean, and then I don't know if I bookmarked this one.
Candace Owens.
Let me go back to this one because I don't know if I showed any of these videos. No, I didn't, because I didn't go live yesterday. Yeah, I didn't go live yesterday, guys, because I stayed up too late. I went on Slim's panel for a little while last, whatever night that was. So I stayed up really late. Then I got up late. And I had to, you know, dip strawberries and do my normal thing. And then last night, I went to bed at like 5 p.m. And then I got up at like 10:30. And I've been up ever since. I just started working, making hot cocoa bombs and Dubai bars until like 1 o'clock. So I'm going back to bed right after this. And hopefully now I'll be so fucked up on my sleep schedule, I'll be back to normal after this. Talking like a degenerate is the new norm. Yeah, you know, whatever gets clicks and views, right? Whatever gets clicks and views now. That's what it comes down to. But, you know, I think Dave Portnoy kind of crossed the line, but he's Jewish. And he can cry about somebody saying something about Jews, but it's okay for him to fucking say whatever the fuck he wants to say. Where's it at? Let me find it. They probably took it off already. Here we go.
That's the worst beat of all time. And you have to investigate the Raiders. Investigate the Raiders. What are they doing? What the fuck? That's the worst beat of all time. That is cheating. What the fuck? I gotta rewind this. That's the worst fucking beat of all time. This is the worst beat of all time. Pete Carroll should be in fucking prison. Prison for Pete Carroll. First of all, the refs, everybody. This is prison. This is prison. There's 16 seconds left in the game. By the way, the play before this, there was fucking 20 seconds. They threw it. Prison. The spread's 8.5. They spiked the ball, by the way. They ran up and spiked it as a tempo. Prison Pete Carroll. Murder Pete Carroll. I want Pete Carroll murdered. Can you see this play right here? Can you see this play? 10, 9, 8.
So another Page shill. You know, this is a guy who Barstool and made it millions, hundreds of millions, and then sold it and bought it back for a penny and all this bullshit. You know, another guy who's propped up by Jewish billionaires. Sweet Tea, good morning. We have a 2-hour delayed opening today. I slept in starting from the beginning. Man, it rained cats and dogs here. Thank goodness it stopped. But all the rivers are flooding, and it was coming down all day today. But yeah, so he literally just called for the murder of Pete Carroll. You guys heard it yourself. Although somebody says something about a Jew, he gets them fired from their job as a bartender and cries on the internet and goes on ABC and CBS and all this stuff crying about anti-Semitic people. Yet here he is, he wants to call for the murder of a head coach. You should get charged for that. You can't say that shit, especially with it's crazy. Like they're really doing that now. Like they are. The question is why. You know, it's another psyop. What's going on here? Because, and there's a couple different things going on here. There's the psyop of calling people out like that, but there's also the one of the cheating scandals. Across the board, and it's so easy to spot because. It's just everywhere now. Everybody's obviously cheating now. It's in basketball. It's in baseball. It's in football. It's everywhere. And everybody's saying, oh, well, there's this. There's the magnet in the ball. They obviously should have went for the field goal or try. The question is why? Why now are people going to jail for cheating and running gambling rackets and all of these leagues are getting called out for cheating? The question is why? Why now? He's drunk, Portnoy, and he lost his and that and that's his and the thing is too is like that this is a psyop because let's say that he was drunk and that we've all been drunk and probably said things that we regretted. Well, he could at least delete the tweet, but no, it's still on there and they're pushing it, so I don't know what to make of it. But my question is like, I think that this is just my theory. I've been trying to wrap my head around why excuse me, why all the cheating, why the obvious calling out the cheating. It's almost like they're purposely doing things to make people like believe that they are cheating. And this is my theory. It's because, and it goes back to Trump's executive order about the centralized AI. I think that they're going to start using AI to ref games. They're going to, and the reason I believe that is because there was a cheating scandal in snooker last year where, at least one top 10 player was busted. It was mostly Chinese players. I think they were all Chinese, actually. they were approached by the Chinese mafia and paid off to cheat. Well, AI determined that they purposely missed shots. It's like undetectable to the human eye, but somehow they have AI software that can detect cheating. I don't know how it all works. Yeah, he was ex-coach in Seattle, Stephen, you're right, for the Seahawks. Took us to the Super Bowl. Twice, actually. So I think that they're going to bring AI in. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but in order to make everybody, because I think that they're getting ready to lie. I keep talking about the online gambling that's going to launch nationally pretty soon. And, I know a lot of people can already gamble online, but a lot of people don't realize what it's going to look like. Like, we're going to be inundated with gambling on our phones here pretty soon, everywhere. And I think this is part of it, just to kind of put people's mind at ease that there's not going to be any more cheating because it's going to be AI. I don't know. That's just my theory. I don't know. I don't know how to take it other than, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I'm going to move on. Here's Pete Hegseth getting called out by somebody. Him and his wife are walking out of somewhere.
Hey, you treasonous traitor! Hey, you murderer! You're gonna learn how to do a pull-up in prison! You're gonna learn how to do a pull-up in prison, you traitorous scum! You cowardly, treasonous murderer! Shame on you, you traitor! Shame on you, you coward! Traitor! You shitbag! You can't even do a pull-up, you drunk! Hey, you murderer!
So, there's that. Radiation fog. Here's Nick Fuentes on the steps in 2017.
Keep moving towards the Capitol. It appears we are taking the Capitol back. Keep marching and don't relax. Never relax. Yeah! They're evacuating the Capitol! They're evacuating! Break down the barriers and disregard the police! This Capitol belongs to us! They're evacuating the Capitol! They're evacuating the Capitol! They're evacuating! The police are evacuating the Capitol! Politicians throw black story out of the people's house!
Yep, nothing but a kabuki theater on those steps. Steps full of fake feds and just nothing but smoke and mirrors and kabuki theater. 2 Super Bowls. Yep, we won against Denver, and then we should have won against New England. They should have gave the ball to Marshawn, but who knows why that happened. I guess Russell had to be the hero. Let's see here. What else do we got?
This is a video I've meant to do for the last few weeks, actually. I'm going to show you something, and I want to know what you think. I can't be the only one that's noticed this. I can't be. But where are all the insects? Let me just show you this. Just hold on a minute. I don't know whether you can see this. I've got a bit of glare on the screen, so I can't really be sure whether you're going to see it properly. This is a buddleia, yeah? All the lovely flowers on it. These are butterflies and bees' favourites. I mean, normally there's bees and butterflies on these all the time. I haven't seen one this year, not one. There's a few flies about, but nothing like there should be. I mean, milking people will know this. In this time of year, they're an absolute pain in the fucking arse in the pile of the flies. But look, there's nothing on there. There's a few flies knocking about, but nothing like there should be. What do you think? Well, I looked at the cows yesterday in the yard. I mean, it was a crap day yesterday. There is open cloud today, but yesterday it was just overcast. It was warm, but just under that blanket that we've had all bloody summer. I mean, the grass growth is fucking awful. I've actually opened the silage clamp yesterday.
Well, it's nothing new. This stuff has been going on for years, and I think it just happens in different parts of the world at different times. But a lot of it does have to do with the chemicals they're spraying from the planes, and so. But I've noticed it too. Not so much this year, but in years past, where the birds are different. There's not a lot of bugs, all kinds of stuff like that. And then the last one is a bee or a bear attacks the trainer in China. This is what you get when you try to entertain people with bears, I guess. So it was a wild moment at the bear park in China. I think that's all the videos I have. Ellen asked Donald Trump about engagement.
Right. And Melania, you're now engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. That's all I got you is that little tiny thing right there on your finger. Look at the size of that. That's how many carats is that?
I don't know. I never think about it.
You don't think about carats?
No.
I bet you do. I bet you know exactly how many carats.
I
it
do
is.
actually.
See, Melania, and where are you?
Huh. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. That's all the videos I have for today. Not a whole lot going on other than Tim Pool's meltdown. So more to come with that. Candace will be live again today. So I'm going to go back to bed, and then I got to get back up and go shopping and get back to work. So everybody have a great Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow.